Call to order the meeting, the regular session for May 5th, 2025. Clerk Eubank, if you could do roll call, please.
Mayor Wolfersberger. Member Cheney Huggett. Member Gates.
Here.
Member Hackworth. Member Skibby.
Here.
Member Traver.
Here.
Member Underhill.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. And next we'll have invocation by Chris Tarkwitz of Family Bible Church. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. If you like, would you please join me for prayer? Gracious God, we gather tonight and start simply by pausing to say thank you. Tonight and throughout this month, we say thank you and honor those who serve our city. Thank you for the professionals in public works who build and maintain and keep our city running. Bless their work of their hands and watch over them in all seasons. We thank you for the officers that are gathered here and that serve our city. Thank you for their courage, their care, and their commitment to serve. Thank you also for firefighters as they were honored yesterday with International Firefighter Day. Give them all strength and wisdom as the challenges they face and surround them with your protection. Tonight's meeting begins. We ask that you would guide words and thoughts of the council and everyone taking part of this conversation. Let what's said and decided here help the city thrive. Pray this in your name. Amen.
States of America, to the republic, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
I'll take a motion to excuse Mayor Wolfersberger and Councilman Hackworth.
So moved.
Support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of agenda for tonight. At 6, we have public comment on agenda items. 7, we have our consent agenda, which includes the city council minutes for our regular session on April 21st and closed session on April 21st. And city bills, purchases on 4/18/2025 and purchases on 4/25/2025. Our fiscal year budget, Schedule A public hearing. And D, school resource officer contract renewal with Marshall Public Schools. 7E, special event request, 2025 Memorial Day Parade. 7F, American Legion Post 79 poppy sale request. Followed by 8, presentations and recognitions. We have 3 tonight. 8A is National Public Works Week proclamation. 8B, National Police Week proclamation. And 8C, Marshall Police Officer of the Year recognition for Officer Drew. No informational items tonight for number 9. Number 10, public hearings and subsequent council action. There are 2. 10A, trespass ordinance update 133.03. And 10B, repeal of ordinance 135.02 indecent language. There's no old business tonight for 11. 12, reports and recommendations. 12A is severe weather warning sirens equipment conversions. And 12B, door-to-door smoke detector blitz. Next is 13, appointments and elections. There are 2. 13A is the appointment of city attorney. 13B is the appointment of city prosecuting attorney. Followed by 14, public comment on non-agenda items. And then 15, council and manager communications. And then last 16, adjournment. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Support. Motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, same sign. Motion passes. That moves us to public comment on agenda items. Persons addressing city council are required to give their name and address for the record when called upon. Members of the public shall be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and comments shall address agenda items only. Public hearing items should be heard during the public hearing portion of number 10 of the agenda, and non-agenda items should be heard during the public comment non-agenda items, item 14 of the agenda. Would anyone like to speak on agenda items? Barry?
Barry Wynn Adams, 622 West Green Street. Considering the issue of item 13A and B, for this size of a municipality, isn't it kind of redundant to have both a city attorney and a city prosecuting attorney? Unless you're tooling up for more prosecutorial activity, which may be the situation. But, you know, for this size municipality, we don't need to be spending tax money on two shysters. And when it comes down to the Police Week proclamation, you know, lots of adulation, lots of back patting, lots of heroizing of the police, but in spite of the taking of oath of office and the ostensible pledge of allegiance, doing a pledge of allegiance, do the police actually understand if they are actually enforcing the de jure provisions of the Constitution rather than playing out a de facto system of corporate fascism operating under martial rule? And your display of the flag says that it is in fact the latter. The police are supposed to be upholding the Constitution and not enforcing a unconstitutional simulacrum of the constitutional republic that only exists to create a pretense that we still have authentic government, but it's really a system that is doing nothing more than enforcing the bankruptcy of the unextinguishable national debt. And those issues could be coming to a head later in the year, around September. But what is police power? It's an aspect of the coercive power of the executive branch, and it goes in two directions. It's the equivalent of war power, except in the direction in which it's enforced. War power is the coercive power of our government affected outside of our borders. Police power is the same power, coercive power, affected internally within the boundaries of the country. All right, there's more.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to 7, consent agenda. 7A, City Council minutes, regular session, April 21st, 2025, and our minutes for the closed session on April 21st, 2025. And we have city bills with purchases found 4/18 of 2025 in a total amount of $78,796.87. Purchases on 4/25/2025, a total amount of $599,000, $249.03 for a total spend of $678,000, $678,045.90. And then 7C, fiscal year budget 2026, schedule a public hearing. D, school resource officer contract renewal of Marshall Public Schools. E, special event request from 2025 Memorial Day Parade. And F, the American Legion Post 79 poppy sale request. So I'll seek a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, sorry, go ahead.
Ask for the point C, is that something the city or like the budget department or who sets the public hearing for the budget?
Sure, so Derek, you want to take that? Go ahead and answer.
Yeah, so that's exactly the action you'll be taking tonight as part of the consent calendar. You're setting that public hearing for the budget for May 19th. Yep.
Any other questions or comments? I have a motion and support. We'll take roll call, please.
Member Cheney Huggett,
Yes.
Member Gates,
Yes.
Member Skibby,
Yes.
Member Traver,
Yes,
Member Underhill.
Yes.
Motion carries, Your Honor.
thank you. Moves us down to presentations and recognitions. First, 8A is the National Public Works Week proclamation. Any discussion first? Good. All right, I have the proclamation here with me. I'm going to read that today. This is again for National Public Works Week, May 5th, 2025. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Marshall. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Marshall to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association and Canadian Public Works Association, be it now, and therefore be it proclaimed that the city of Marshall will observe May 18th through 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week. We urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. And this is signed by our mayor, Scott Wolfersberger. And it's Alec and Aaron here, and then they would like to accept this. Marguerite?
Alecus.
Okay. So,
You don't have to.
Oh.
Morning, please. Thank you.
Board, did you want to speak to the open houses?
We are hosting, Alec and Aaron are hosting open houses at their respective plants, the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant on May 21st between 4 and 6 p.m. They will be happening at the same time in an effort to communicate with visitors. And so there'll be trucks and some giveaways, equipment, tours of the facilities. The water treatment plant is wrapping up construction, so it'll be a great opportunity if you're so inclined to come see some of the new work that has occurred over the last 9 months. And then the wastewater treatment plant is getting ready to start construction, so you'll be able to see how it is today and then in a year from now, what it looks like with everything else constructed. So we welcome you to join and we will be advertising that out to the public as well. Thank you.
Thank you. That moves us down to 8B, National Police Week Proclamation. Chief Lanker, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I'd just like to preface it. So, obviously annually we come to council, with, the proclamation. And I just trying to get a little, just background information. So in 1962, President John F. Kennedy designated May 15th as National Memorial Day and that week as, National Police Week. So that's been celebrated, since 1962. This year, the National Police Week is from the 11th through the 17th. And so it's a time, we use this time as a time to honor and pay respects to those officers that made the ultimate sacrifice of protecting and serving their communities. So we're just here to present the proclamation and thank you.
Thank you. I have that here. So proclamation for National Police Week, May 11th through May 17th, 2025. To recognize National Police Week 2025 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Marshall Police Department. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States that have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial in Washington, D.C. Whereas 345 new names of fallen heroes are being added to the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial this spring, including 147 officers killed in 2024 and 198 officers killed in previous years. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 37th Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13, 2025. Whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of National Police Week, which will be observed this year, May 11th through 17th. Whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officer Memorial Day in honor of the fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Therefore, be it proclaimed that the City of Marshall will observe May 11th through 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in the City of Marshall and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation. And as with the other one, this one is also signed by our Mayor, Scott Wolfersberger. And yeah, like invite anybody up here who wants to receive this. All right. Next up, Marshall Police Officer of the Year recognition for Andrew Groneveld.
Josh. Honorable City Council, in the spirit of Police Week, this time of year is usually when we have our Exchange Club kind of recognition. So, and with this, we recognize Officers of the Year. Officer Groneveld, he's been with us. You want to come up here? Drew, we get to talk about you. So our process is it's selected, Officer of the Year is selected by our staff. And so once again, it was like a unanimous decision. Drew was selected as our Officer of the Year for 2024 and into this year for his, as they quoted here, for his selfless service and dedication last year. He's our school resource officer. He is constantly busy and having a positive influence on our youth in schools. So I'd just like to say just a little bit of background for him. He's been with us for about 22 years this year, I think, as of February. He spent the last 3 years in the schools. He just has with all that experience and knowledge, obviously he is just a resource for all of our officers and for the community. But in addition to that, he's just got this fun-loving personality that is, and a kind heart. So he just, for whatever reason, connects with kids. I think it's because he's kind of a big kid at heart, and probably he just has a great connection with the kids and does a great job. So we just want to congratulate him. Anything you want to add, Deputy Chief?
Of course.
Thanks, Chris.
No, I just want to reiterate the fact that we're so grateful and lucky to have you. Drew, we worked together my entire career here, and the community is blessed to have such an outstanding role model as a police officer. And thank you.
I appreciate it. Very good. I have this certificate for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for the time here. As you see, we're rounding our 3rd year for the School Resource Officer Program. I think it's been pretty successful. We've really enjoyed it. Like I said, I somehow find a way to connect to the kids and goofing around and stuff like that, and finding that fine line between being serious and then being relaxed around the kids. So we really enjoy it. I often get from the guys, better you than me. So, so I think hopefully I'm a good fit for the role. I really do enjoy it. But as you can see, we're going to try and sign another 3 years for the school. So I hopefully it's another successful 3 years. So, yeah. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You guys want to come up?
No, that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you, Officer Drew. And yeah, we already approved in the earliest part of the consent agenda, the renewal of the contract. So the 3 years, I think, went really well, and they asked for 3 years more. So that's a positive thing. So thank you for your service and congratulations. Next up, we have our public hearings. The first one is the 10A trespass ordinance update 133.03. Chief Lankard.
All right. So we're back for the public hearing for the trespass ordinance. As I explained last time, we periodically look these over, looking at the trespass ordinance. It was in looking at the current trespass ordinance. It's in 2 different locations in the ordinance. Part of it's under the actual ordinance, and part of it's under the penalty and review. And just to kind of explain, I know they had public comment earlier, so to kind of explain that process. So we do have, the city attorney does look at it from a civil perspective, right? So in policy perspective, the prosecutor looks at it from a prosecution perspective, because he's going to be prosecuting that ordinance, if that makes sense. So that's why we have both attorneys review those to make sure that we're covering both bases. So we did have them review the proposed ordinance. The proposed ordinance is more in line with the state code and basically combines the two sections that we currently have into one section, just making it more user friendly and it's more in line with the state code. So that's what we presented. So that was our recommendation is for this ordinance 2025-01 for the new trespass ordinance.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I will open the public hearing and invite any persons wanting to speak during the public hearing to address city council by giving their name and address for the record. And you are given a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. Is there anybody from the public who would like to address council? Mr. Adams.
Barry Wayne Adams again, 622 West Green. Again, trespass is a fundamental common law crime, and I did not know that within the existing statutory system that it would be able to bifurcate into a civil component and a criminal component. And it seems like the way trespass has been used recently by the police, it's more of a police state measure than an actual act of prophylaxis against future social injury. And, you know, trespass is a fundamental enforcement of a fundamental right, but the police have to make sure that they are enforcing a right and not imposing a privilege. All right, not a lot to talk about with trespass.
Anybody else? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and open it up for discussion or motion.
Well, I would thank the chief and city attorneys for, as they've been doing, periodically reviewing these ordinances. I think it's great that we're being proactive about those to make sure that they're up to date. Unless anybody has any other comments, I would go ahead and make a motion to enact ordinance 2025-1, an ordinance amending City of Marshall Code of Ordinances, section 133.03 trespassing and 133.99 penalty, and publish the ordinance in full to the local newspaper.
Support. Motion and support. I'll take a roll call, please.
Member Skibby.
Yes.
Member Traver.
Yes.
Member Underhill.
Yes.
Member Cheney Huggett.
Yes.
And Member Gates.
Yes.
Motion carries, Your Honor.
Thank you. That moves us to 10B, repeal of ordinance 135.02 indecent language. And Chief Lankert, again, it's yours.
Honorable Council, back here again to discuss or to talk over the repeal of indecent language and have the public hearing. Just to refresh that, 135.02 indecent language was found to be out of date and not consistent with some First Amendment rulings. And a review of this with the attorneys, and our suggestion was to repeal it as there's indecent conduct, which is already set forth in our disorderly and in state disorderly code. So that is covered, but the indecent language just needs to be updated. So just trying to clean up some languages in old ordinance. So it's our recommendation, and we'll open it for.
Yeah, thank you. This time we'll open the public hearing. Same as before, anybody wishing to speak required to give their name and address for the record and have a maximum of 3 minutes. Mr. Adams.
All right. It's me again. Problem with to enforce something like indecency, that is a highly relative standard. I'm sure that what is considered indecent in Marshall probably would not be considered indecent over in San Francisco or other places. But First Amendment is very expansive, and the only restrictions on it are those that deal with fighting words or, actual words of threat. When it comes to language about other aspects of our physical being, it's hard to say that, where the decency and indecency bright line division forms. So I don't even know how, this is a perfect example of how police power has overcome the expansive liberties protected by the Constitution. And just like in this instance, and many times, the distinguishing standards of enforcement are vague and pliable and subjective. We're not supposed to be living in America where the police can just decide willy-nilly whether your actions or language are over the top or not. So I guess, when it comes to ordinances, every once in a while, you got to rearrange the furniture. And, but hopefully the city council will understand that it should comply with the Constitution and think in liberal and expansive aspects of what our personal expression is. Because when it comes down to it, it's that Article 1, Section 5, Michigan Constitution, no law shall be enacted to restrict or abridge freedom of speech or of the press. So that means no law. You just don't have any power to do it whatsoever. Even having an indecent language thing is presumptively unconstitutional.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Anybody else willing to speak? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. Now discussion amongst council. I'll start by saying just thank you to Chief Lanker and our Marshall Police Department for continuing to review these old ordinances. I know probably a lot more things in our city that we still need to do similar things with and get them up to date. So I appreciate you taking the time to look at these, and also City Prosecutor Sullivan and City Attorney Revore for reviewing these as well. Any other comments or questions? I'll seek a motion. Seek a motion that we enact ordinance 2025-2, an ordinance repealing City of Marshall Code of Ordinances, section 135.02, indecent language, and publish the ordinance in full in the local newspaper.
So moved.
Support.
I have motion and support. We'll take a roll call, please.
Member Underhill,
Yes.
Member Cheney Huggett, Member Gates,
Yes.
Member Skibby,
Yes.
and Member Traver.
Yes,
Motion carries, Your Honor.
thank you. There is no old business tonight. It moves us down to 12A under reports and recommendations. A is severe weather warning sirens and equipment conversions. With Martin to present.
Good evening, Honor Council. As you know, a while back, the millage for the county got passed for the dispatch center. And part of that dispatch center, when I got there, we were able to upgrade our radio system where fire was on VHF and police were on 800 megahertz system. And now both parties will be on the same system, so we'll be able to communicate better. But with that being said, the sirens will still run off of VHF, but the VHF system needs to be upgraded. So we have our 5 sirens, and the one down here at City Hall needs to be totally replaced, and other ones need to be reprogrammed with some additional equipment in it. That will allow it to talk to dispatch center if there's something going wrong. We don't have to wait for the monthly test. Matter of fact, 2 months in a row now, the one down here failed this last Saturday. Again, we thought it was a power issue, but there's something else going with it. So you get that fixed as quick as we can. Unfortunately, West Shore is the only ones that's capable in this area of doing the siren equipment. So we really couldn't put it out for competitive bid, but I recommend us upgrading that. That's an important part of the city warnings for severe weather. Since we've been here, I think we've had 1 or 2 tornadoes and some heavy wind. So the sirens have helped.
Thank you. Any questions for Chief? Any no questions?
I guess my only question would be regarding the way we're funding this from the special projects fund. I take it there's no, did we explore the possibility of grants or other funding sources?
The only other funding source that dispatch presented was a loan that they had got good rates on the loan. There was no grants that they went after. Again, it's probably one that needed to be done as a whole county, not as an individual municipality. So they looked at some grants, but they were able to get a low cost fund, but with speaking with the city manager, we decided to go just use the special project fund for it.
That was my question as well. Did we consider general fund for this or not?
So we consider this capital outlay, and essentially they're really, I mean, you could use your rainy day fund, but really, we've set up the special projects fund to pay for items just like this. So really, that's probably the best use of those dollars would be for these one-time projects or capital outlay that we need to do.
Any other questions or comments?
Ask, you said there's updates on the other ones. Are the other sirens around town in generally good repair? Are we gonna expect to replace
Yes.
those in the near future?
They've been operating fine. Like I said, what they need to do, that programming is less of that two-way communication, that we don't have to wait to a Saturday test to know if there's an issue with a siren.
Okay. Thank you. I'll seek a motion that we approve the proposal from West Shore Services, Inc. in the amount of $59,024 to replace the warning siren at City Hall and reprogram the other 4 city sirens.
So moved.
Support. I have a motion and support. Take a roll call vote, please.
Member Gates. Member Skibby.
Yes.
Member Traver.
Yes.
Member Underhill.
Yes.
And Member Cheney Huggett.
Yes.
Motion carries, Your Honor.
Thank you. If Chief would like to come back up, our next item is 12B, door-to-door smoke detector blitz.
Yes, this is one of the fire department's action plans for the year. We've been installing smoke detectors for, I don't know how long, way before I got here. We still go to residents and put smoke detectors up for free of charge. But what we found in the last few years that I've been here, there's a couple we had a double fatal fire right on North Fountain Street, just over a block from the station. They had no working smoke detectors in the house. They were unable to get out. Just a recent fire, we had no fatality, but if they would have had smoke detectors, they would have known that was a lot sooner down the River Road we would have got to. So smoke detectors save lives. I've been in this fire service for a long time, and I guarantee you, smoke detectors have saved way more lives than firefighters and property. So I just wanted to step it up and say, hey, let's go door to door, starting probably June 2nd, we're looking at, and see if they need more smoke detectors. The code has changed. It used to be 1 on every level. Now they want 1 on every level and plus 1 in every sleeping area, sleeping bedroom, classified as a bedroom. And the detectors are provided by the state fire marshal's office for free. And what comes with that too is also a dual detector that also does a CO on top of that. So they just need like one of those. We're doing both of those. But the state's stipulation on this is we have to install them. The department has to install them. I've been through this before. I'm not naive to know that some people don't want us coming into their homes for various reasons. Those are the ones that probably need smoke detectors. So I went to the community foundation and asked them would they do a $10,000 grant so we could purchase some smoke detectors just to hand out if they want it in there. We'll give them the literature on how they're supposed to be and where they're supposed to be. And also we purchased some door hangers again. It's hard getting people home. That's why we're shooting for the summer there. We'll just leave it on there for them to call and we'll go back and install them free of charge. So.
Chief, isn't there like an expiration date on some of these smoke detectors? Like probably even the ones I have in my house are probably out of date.
Recommend 10 years on the smoke detectors. And these are 10-year smoke detectors that you don't have to replace the batteries in. They come with a 10-year lithium battery. So that's another big thing. I mean, we even go around and replacing batteries. Got some donations for that. So yeah, you're right. Again, we're targeting the family residential houses, not the big apartment complexes, because by code, they're supposed to install those anyways. We're trying to get around to the single and duplex family housing in the city.
Thank you. I think it's a great program. I appreciate the service that you guys are offering to our community members to make them safer, whether it's you installing them or providing them with the other option, which I understand as well. Any other questions for Chief?
Just wondering if so I see this is a one-time blitz, but do we anticipate maybe hoping to do this in the future every few years or something, or?
We'll definitely evaluate it. One of the other programs that I've seen is if you have a fire in the neighborhood, you go back the next day, especially if there were smoke detectors there, check that general 2-block area. That's another way. We'll see how this one goes and see how well it was received.
Thank you.
We'll continue to provide smoke detectors for free.
Okay, thank you.
I seek a motion that we approve the fire department door-to-door smoke detector blitz program.
So moved.
I have a motion and support, and with no financial obligation to the city, since this is being provided by the state of Michigan and a grant from the Marshall Community Foundation. We'll take a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you again. Next up, we have 13A, appointment of city attorney. And city manager, if you'd like to present.
Thank you, Your Honor, members of City Council. So the next couple items really are city charter requirements. After the election, the first meeting in May, the City Council, at the request of the mayor, is to appoint your city attorney. And we also have a city prosecuting attorney too. So that'll be done on our separate item. But Dave Revore is our current city attorney. He's doing an outstanding job for us, and he's requested reappointment. So that's the mayor's request and city administration's request too.
Yeah, you used the word outstanding. I would agree with that. I would echo that. He's done a great job for our community. We're very fortunate to have him here locally as well. So I would support the reappointment. Any other comments or questions? And Mr. Revore, if you'd like to say a few words, you are welcome to the mic.
Thank you, council members and city manager Perry. Off, I'd like to say these last 2 years, charter requires appointment every 2 years. These last 2 years has been a very interesting, wonderful, and challenging journey in the life of Marshall. I moved here in 2004, and as you folks know, I've served on Planning Commission, City Council, and the ZBA, and I just can't get it out of my blood yet. So a few years away from retirement, I'm asking for reappointment, and the council approved some financial means last year. We're not asking to increase those, but I will tell you what they are.
Our hourly rate is approximately $185 to $200 an hour, which is $125 less than the market rates of larger cities that we're at elsewhere, but we're not at those rates. And so we try to remain competitive. We're cognizant of the budget. We're not asking for any type of increase. And we're honored to continue on and not only serving as your city attorney, we're also residents of the city as well. So thank you for your consideration of that.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
I'll just say I do appreciate Attorney Revore and his service to the city. I think he's done a great job and just appreciate having him. So I would support his reappointment.
I would move that we reappoint Attorney David Revore as the City of Marshall Attorney per Section 2.10 of the Marshall City Charter.
Support.
Support.
I have a motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have 13. So 13B, appointment of city prosecuting attorney. City Manager Perry, if you could present, please.
Thank you. Again, in the similar vein, Attorney John Sullivan and Attorney John Brundage have been the city prosecuting attorneys for multiple years. They work hand in hand with the police department on prosecuting ordinance violations. And police department's very satisfied with John and all the work he does for us. He's helped vetted some of these ordinances too. So again, we're blessed with another, great attorney that serves the citizens of Marshall and the city administration here. So again, we're requesting that John Sullivan and John Brundage be reappointed.
Any comments or questions from council?
I move that we reappoint Attorney John B. Sullivan and Attorney John D. Brundage as the Marshall City prosecuting attorneys per Section 2.10 of the Marshall City Charter.
Support. A motion and support. Take a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. That moves us down to 14, public comment on non-agenda items. As before, persons addressing city council required to give their name and address for the record. And on non-agenda items, we have 2 minutes maximum allowed to speak. Would anyone like to speak on non-agenda items? Mr. Adams.
Barry Wayne Adams again. Things are not progressing well for the mega site. Even though there's a lot of, that's our story and we're going to stick with it down here. Things are happening in Lansing and in Washington. Up in Lansing, I was actually able to go up and testify in front of the Committee on Government Operations, about several different bills. And for example, House Bill 4240 and 4241. And they deal with foreign influence on public bodies and a amendation of the statute concerning the Michigan Strategic Fund, where they are imposing restrictions on no one being able to do business, or the state is not going to provide any funds to anyone who does business with certain foreign entities like China, Iran, North Korea, and so on, authoritarian regimes. which is a good thing. And there's going to be, in the near future, Representative Steve Carra is going to be holding a hearing on, specifically on the damage that has occurred because of the trying to put in this mega mistake. Also, over, oh, all right, there's more.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else wishing to speak on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to council and manager communications. Councilmember Gates.
Sure. Well, from a Parks and Rec perspective, we had that big citywide tree planting the other day. I'm sure somebody else might comment on that, but I know that I believe 60 trees were planted around the city. I know that over the last few years, we have lost some big, beautiful trees for various reasons. So it's nice to see those new ones being planted and to renew that for the next generation and keep our city looking green and beautiful. So I appreciate everybody who was involved with making that happen.
Councilmember Skibby. Thank you. Councilmember Underhill.
Nothing. Thank you.
Councilmember Cheney Huggett.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
City Manager Perry.
Just briefly, although you may want to speak to this too. This last Wednesday, we had our groundbreaking for the athletic field expansion, which is the pickleball courts and the splash pad. So it's a pretty exciting time for the community. I know this is a project long time coming. So as part of that, there's one more way that folks can contribute to that. We're trying to raise another $100,000, which if we can raise $50,000 locally, we'll get that matched at the state. So there is an effort underway. I believe it's 50,000 in 50 days. I saw that tagline today, but it's a patronicity campaign. So we just encourage folks to find that, and we'll push that out on social media and the website to make sure people have an opportunity to, dedicate a court to someone they love or a brick and to someone's name, that kind of thing. So just encourage folks to take a look at that and help us reach our goal.
Thank you. City Clerk.
Nothing for me.
All right, thank you. I'll elaborate on the patronicity campaign. It's patronicity.com/Marshall. Made it pretty simple, so you can go there and donate. There are options for a 4x8 brick for $125, a 8x8 brick for $250. There's a couple benches available. And I think there is one court available too. So options, or just give any amount will help. Also, this weekend, citywide garage sales are happening. So just be careful when you're out there driving around on the streets. Starts Thursday. So watch out for those thrifters. May 17th is Color Classic, Oaklawn, their 5K and fun run. And then I know there's after hours, after event activities at the Dark Horse, and then Dark Horse has some bands that night as well. Then I encourage everybody to go to the water and wastewater open houses on May 21st at those treatment plants from 4 to 6 p.m. And May 11th is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to those mothers. And that's everything for me. So thank you for being here tonight. And we are adjourned.